Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. It's spring in South Lake again today. We do have some like low 40 temperatures in the forecast. So sometime in the next week, I don't remember what days I saw it. And I think it's because there's some kind of front coming through because there's supposed to be rain on Thursday. I think there's a slight chance of rain tomorrow, and then the biggest chance is Thursday, and the temperatures will drop. So just more battles from Mother Nature before we settle on the next season. Don't forget to set your clocks ahead an hour overnight, Saturday into Sunday. Technically, that's supposed to happen at 2 a.m., but that's not how we do it. We set the clocks that need to be set to the new time before we go to bed. And then now, since everything is so automated, you just wake up and your phone and computer and everything is on the right time. So much happening here. Oh my goodness. I tried to get logged into the cameras because Monet is definitely acting very different. And she's hovering over her eggs a lot. And she's just acting very different. So I think she hears something, or she feels something, or she can just sense something. I've been out to the pen so many times today trying to get a good look at the eggs. I did candle a couple of eggs, and I even got a video of the candling. And all I can tell you still is that I think we're on track still to have hatches, by Thursday or Friday this week. I didn't see Pips, but it's because I can't inspect all the eggs. She's very, very protective right now. And that's making it a little more challenging to get in there and fiddle with things. She's been letting me reach under her and get eggs until today. So that's another indicator that we must be getting close, and she's feeling something, or she's aware of something. They can peep. So once they internally pip, they can chirp inside the eggs, and if I'm close enough to it, I can hear it. But since she's not letting me, get all up in her business right now, I can't hear it, but maybe she hears it. A couple of times today when I've looked on the camera, she's just staring at her eggs. She's standing over them. She's not laying down on them, and she looks like she's listening. So she could be listening. And I am really tickled to share with you that last night, our little neighbors, I am going to try to put this on the screen. I got that camera connected now. Wow, it doesn't want to go to a high resolution though. And we can't have sound if it's on a lower resolution, and it won't let me go full screen. What's up with that? That's no good. I need to be able to go full screen. Oh, that's weird. Well, let me see if I can just kind of make this small and somehow get it on the screen for you. Let's put it over here. I don't like that I got to look at all the camera line up there, but it just doesn't look like it's going to let me separate it in or take it away from the login screen here. All right. Let me get to chat. Hey, John Garner, how are you? So hang on, I'm going to share that. That's the best I can do because it doesn't want to let me. Oh, we're on relay mode, which usually means we have a weak connection. So I did a speed test just before we started tonight, and just going with the Wi-Fi on the computer, I only had an upload. Oh, that's a good ping. I only had an upload speed of like 4 megabits per second, or whatever that stands for. So I hooked the Ethernet cord up directly from the modem to the computer, and I got like a 10 megabits per second. And it looks like that's what we're getting again. So I may just close this and see if we can get it open again some other way. Let me see if I can log back in. It's so finicky, and we just have such unreliable internet. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing me harp about that. All right, I'm just trying to log into the camera again right quick, because I'd like to have that camera up just sort of small and in the corner. And that's how I had it set up. I had it all set up before I went live, and then the camera disconnected. which that happens from time to time anyway, but I'm not happy to know that it disconnected just because the connection is, or the internet is so weak. Anyway, that's trying to connect. It's still just in relay mode. Okay, I might just peek in at it from time to time then. Here on this other screen, the relay screen. Let me take that off. We'll just stop sharing for now. Okay, yeah, I guess, John, she's telling me stop, no peeking. So, I don't remember if I told you about one of the other girls, like a month ago, was out just in the duck yard, not in the pen, and she was building a nest. She was very obviously, carving out a little bowl in a ridiculous place and out in the open. At least, if they're going to get broody, I want them to have their nests in a place where I can, keep them safe at night. Because when they go really broody, they won't leave their nest. And so I don't want them to build a nest away from the pen so that overnight they would have to spend the night outside the pen. The geese might fare a little better if it was one of the geese that wanted to make a nest outside of the pen. And I'm sure that whichever girl it is, her mate would stay with her. And together, I'm sure they could pretty much take care of themselves. But I went out today. I don't know how I've missed. Well, this isn't in a place I look because it's a ridiculous spot that she's built a nest. And I went out to feed them, and I could see through the fence that it looked like she was laying in a nest, just her body position. So I went around to look, and sure enough, she's got 3 eggs in a nest. It's in the duck yard, the other side of the fence from the backyard where the dogs are and stuff. But and she went into the pen tonight very reluctantly. I got some video of that because she was really telling me off. I was telling her it was time to go night-night, and she was really sassing me, which was kind of funny. So I don't know, unless I can move the eggs and convince her to build a nest in the pen, I might have to let her stay out overnight. Anybody want some goslings? If all these eggs hatch, I moved some of the eggs from the pen that nobody's been sitting on to her nest. She took a couple of them in and put them with her eggs, but the other ones are still laying just outside of her nest. So I don't know what that means. But I expect we're going to have a gosling here in the next 30 hours, based on the candling that I did and based on Monet's behavior today. And if you're not keeping up with Jackie and Shadow at Big Bear Valley, we're still on pip watch, but no signs of a pip yet. So I don't know if the weather. Now I think they calculate pip watch differently there. They calculate pip watch based on the day the first egg is laid. When I calculate pip watches for our ducks and geese, and even for eagles, all of those, you guys remember I showed you all, it's fuller now, let me show you. I showed you all of the pip and hatch watch reminders I have on my calendar. I'll pull that up again because it's just really getting full. Okay, let's show you this. Again, all that peachy color, those are all nests that have eggs that are going to be hatching, pipping and hatching. And some of the lines, so there are a couple of those lines that have like 2 nests listed because they have corresponding pip hatch watch start dates. And my calendar can only hold so much, so I think it can only show me like 4 or 5 lines. And then I would just have to click on every day to see if there's something else there. So I calculate pip watch. It's sort of arbitrary, but when there are multiple eggs in a nest for my birds, so for my ducks and geese, even if I know the day the first egg was laid, I do not calculate the start of a pip watch or hatch until 28 days from the first day that I see that the mama is sitting full time. She's just not on the eggs overnight because it's kind of cool, and then she spends all day out on the pond. Or in the case of the eagles, they only kind of hover over them at night and then go on and do their thing. Because eagles tend to practice what's called delayed incubation. It's typical for an eagle to lay 2 eggs for sure, and 3 eggs is not as uncommon as I thought it was. But when they know they're planning to lay more than 1 egg, they don't start sitting full time right away on the first egg, because in the wild, it's to everyone's advantage if all of the babies arrive as close to the same time as possible. So if there are eggs that need to be incubated, especially in a place like Big Bear where it's really cold right now, I mean, every season for their eggs, it's cold. They can't just get up off of the eggs to take care of other things. So if there are eggs to be incubated, someone has to stay on the eggs all the time. Whereas if the babies have hatched already, then, the parents can take turns feeding all the babies, or simultaneously. That's a common thing, is that the mom eagle and the dad eagle will be feeding all the babies, at the same time. And so just for protection and their ability to still take care of themselves along with their offspring, they try to plan it so that the eggs hatch as close together as possible. Doesn't always work, again, and when it's so cold, they don't want to, they can't risk leaving the first eggs in a clutch uncovered for too long, because the cold can damage things. But anyway, I did not calculate pip watch for Jackie and Shadow on the 29th last week, which was 35 days from the day the first egg was laid. My pip watch was set for yesterday, same as Monet's pip watch, only because they laid 1 egg, and then 3 days later they laid another egg, and then 3 days after that they laid another egg. So knowing that she did some delayed incubation, and knowing that the eagle eggs take at least 35 days to hatch, and knowing that Jackie and Shadow's eggs typically hatch like on day 38 or 39, I still think that's because of the cold. The cold does slow things down, and it takes a little more incubation. So I'm not worried yet. Of course, there are people that are new to watching eagles. They're posting on the Friends of Big Bear Valley Facebook group, and they're just all so nervous and already upset, thinking it's not going to happen and something's wrong. And I'm thinking, from my calculations, yesterday was the first day I would have ever expected any of the eggs to start looking like they were getting ready to hatch. So there could be things happening inside the egg. There could be internal pips happening inside the egg. I'm sure you guys are just all fascinated by this. I love this time of year. I know you know that. But I'm just excited now about these little goslings that should be coming sometime soon. It just doesn't look like the camera's going to cooperate with me tonight. It just disconnected again. But tonight I thought we would do something, and I've done this before. I don't know that you could really call it a game. Oh, where did I go? Hang on. Okay. I had gone to that other screen to get logged into the camera, and then couldn't find the screen where the StreamYard studio is. Anyway, so the way this game works, if you saw let me show you again the backdrop for today. So we're going to take book titles and make them edible. And there's some fun stuff you can do with that. And I don't know the best way to do it. I can just leave it open, and in the chat you can spit out like your favorite book, but make it an edible title. But I also have a list of some things that I can, share, just to kind of maybe get your creative juices flowing. So I'll be posting those in the chat and putting them up on the screen from time to time. Let's do this first one here. Let me put this first one here. It's more fun if it's book titles that people are familiar with, because I've seen this done before, and someone will put a title up and I don't even know what the book is. So it's not as funny to me. But I think, the ones I came up with that I can share with you, I think they're they're books that you'll recognize. And this particular one, I think, was even made into a movie. The Girl with the Dragon Fruit Tattoo. So you see how that works now? So that's a book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was a movie too. Does it have Daniel Craig in it? Or one of the Rona Mari, or what is her? Mara Roney? What are those girls' names, those sisters that are actresses? What are their names? Rooney. Mara Rooney? Rooney Mara? Oh, Rooney Mara, and then she has a sister that acts, and I don't remember which one of them might have been in that movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm thinking that one of those sisters is in the movie. But that's how it'll work, where it'll be a book title that people will at least be familiar with, and you change something about the title so that it becomes an edible title. It's something to do with food. So I'll just keep posting some of these here till we have enough people join us in the chat to maybe throw out their own ideas. I've seen this done with movie titles and song titles and things also, where you change one word or add a word or take a word out, and it completely changes what you think of when you read or see or hear the movie or the song or the book title. The Old Man and the Seasonings. And I think all the ones I came up with, it's actually, books I've read. So yeah, Lord of the Onion Rings, that was on the example. That was the first one I thought of, but I figure everybody will think of that one first. So we won't do that. And then I borrowed some from a Facebook thread that a friend of mine started back before Christmas that had some really funny ones in it too. So I'll just keep sharing these. And again, if you are watching live with me, hey, Joe and Sue, how are you? Thanks for being here today. Oh, let's put that banner up. Let me find it. Here we go. Okay, here's your reminder to check out our channel members and friends who happen to have YouTube channels. That includes the Bud Files. They are at 1,760 something subscribers tonight. And then I'm going to let this scroll, and I want to point out something fun to you. So our friends Nina and Boyce at Rooted in Texas, do you see that right there on the bottom of the screen? They have hit 1,000 subscribers. That's a big milestone for any content creator. And I'm so excited to be able to share with you that they've hit that milestone. So just be watching the scroll bar as it goes past, and enjoy these channels, because there's lots to enjoy there. Okay, I'm putting up another. This is one I'm borrowing. Oh, look at that, John. We're thinking alike. This is one I just copied from that thread on Facebook that someone else came with. So we were thinking a lot alike. To saute a mockingbird, and I had put up to grill a mockingbird. That's interesting. Let's see. Bear, you're fine. What do you need? What do you need? You have to tell me. I don't know what you need. The door is open. You can go out. You can go in and out all you like. Go on. Go on. He just wants attention, I guess, because I'm on the computer. Okay, so if you missed it, Sue, we're just making book titles edible by changing a word, adding a word, removing a word, something where you just change a little bit of it, and it makes it to do with food. It makes the book title edible. Let's see. Here's another one that I'm borrowing. And I'll put that up there. Angel Food and Demons. I don't think I have read that. Well, I don't think I've read that book. Again, I'm borrowing some that other people put in that thread as well. And here's one. Now, this one was one of mine. This one coming up right here. Winnie the Po' Boy. I'm going to assume that everybody knows what a po' boy is. Does everyone know what a po' boy is? The food po' boy? I'll wait for you guys to sound off in the chat. Let me know if you know what a po' boy is. Or if you can tell me what your favorite kind of po' boy is. And I'm sure it's named that because of some history thing. There's a video idea for you, Sue. Y'all can talk about the origins of the po' boy, why they're called that, and what kind of po' boys you can get. And let's see what else we have in this thread that I can borrow. Okay, here's one from John. A beef brisket and pork loin po' boy. Oh, that's your favorite kind? Ooh, those are together? Brisket and pork loin on a po' boy? Golly. Does it have barbecue sauce on it? Ooh, I'm going to be hungry. I had a really late lunch. Oh, and I've got to tell y'all guys. So if you missed my community post, I think I might have posted several things, but the one I'm most excited about is the sourdough bread one. What's going on here? Huh. I was looking at that camera, looked like it was trying to connect all on its own. A little window popped up like it was going to connect. So sourdough. So I did post about my very first sourdough loaf. It didn't work. But I think it didn't work because I did not work the dough right or enough or all of the above. Never overcook, Wolf. You shouldn't overcook any meat, right? Anyway, so I experimented again. I spent all day yesterday preparing dough. And then I made my loaf, and then I let my loaf proof in the refrigerator overnight. I'd like to do that. I'd like that to be my routine, where during the day I make the dough and work the dough and let it have its little periods of, resting and rising a little bit, and then shape it into my loaf and put it in the fridge to let it finish proofing or rising. And then I got up early this morning and put it in the oven, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let me see. Y'all will get a sneak peek because I'll have a video. Now, I've got a video that will come out tomorrow that's kind of all the things you shouldn't do if you want to make a good sourdough bread loaf. Because the first loaf I made, that's what got all this started. I was telling you that on my community tab I shared. The first loaf I made, it didn't rise. It tasted good, and the crust was nice as far as the texture and the color of the crust. But it didn't work. And now I think I kind of have figured out, why it didn't work. So hang on, I'm gonna share these pictures to the computer so that I can then put them on the screen for you, just so you can see the sourdough loaf that I baked this morning, because I can't even believe that I baked that loaf of bread. Especially after how the first one turned out. I'm loving the process. It's still a lot of fun and very therapeutic. There is something very therapeutic about working with your hands and working with dough. They make that stress putty stuff. I have some somewhere. This is just one, I'm sure, of many brands. It's Be Calm Soothing Dough. And this one has a lavender scent. Lavender is considered by many to be a very calming aroma. Oh, man. Oh, I was trying to peel the lid off, and you have to unscrew it. So it's kind of like Play-Doh. It's very much like Play-Doh. And you just work it and squeeze it. So it's good exercise for your hands, and it gives you something to do, and it can be very therapeutic. And again, this one, oh, that smells so nice because that's got that lavender smell. This one I haven't played with in a long time, so it's really stiff. I think I read on the thing you can add a little water. Where did I see that? For ages 12 and up, do not eat. Okay, somewhere on here, I think I saw that you can just add a little bit of water to it and that'll soften it up a little bit. And anyway, all of that to say that working with the dough has been so enjoyable for me, but I didn't know how to do it for that first loaf. And I didn't do it right. I didn't work the dough enough. And I know that's what it is because that's what I did differently for the second loaf, the loaf that I baked this morning. So let me see. Let me get those pictures. I'm going to pull those pictures up and then we'll share the screen. Okay, so I don't know if I still have the pictures of the horrible loaf. But again, I posted those on my community tab. Those aren't anything I would want to have big on the screen anyway because it was so sad. Okay, let's get to a share screen. And I'll show you. This kind of fits, right? Since we're doing food for book titles. So this is loaf number 2. Check this out. So I even did this little design. See the little wheat design? And that's just from watching people on YouTube do the little wheat designs. And then here's just, oh yeah, see here's the little wheat leaves. Let's see, what's the next one? This is the other side. So here you have to slit the crust or score it to allow for, it to rise, and the pressure of it rising won't cause it to explode. And so that's what that's about. And then I think I have one more picture. This, yeah, just from the top. So that's the little ridge of what we were looking at from this side down here before. And then there's my little wheat stalk thing. And these concentric circles, that's just from the bowl that it proofed in overnight. It's a silicone bowl. I could bake in that bowl also, but I had the Dutch oven that I borrowed from my neighbor across the street. And I just really liked how, I like what I've heard about using that to bake bread. So I will invest in one of those at some point. But so that's my second sourdough loaf, night and day. Let's see. Here's another comment from John. Currently caramelizing onions. It brings a tear to my eye. Let's see. Let me share some more book titles with you. I don't think I did this one yet, did I? All right, here's another one. Let me make sure I didn't do it already. Nope, I didn't do it already. Oh. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Okay. And I've read this book. It's not really called Lord of the Fries. Oh, so here's one from the thumbnail for today's show. Hey, Lux, how are you? So we're ruining book titles by making them edible. So instead of Moby Dick, how about Moby Dill? And then here's one from John, Of Mice and Manicotti. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. So I'm just sharing some that I have come up with, and I'm sharing some from a Facebook thread where I first saw this little game being played. Oh, I already did Moby Dill. Here's the one. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wonton. Let's see, what else do we have in this thread here? Oh, this one was kind of funny. I think of this more as a movie, but I imagine it did start out as a book. The Silence of the Lamb chops. And then this is clever. Instead of jaws, we've got jowls. Pork jowl, right? And one more here. Green eggs and Hamlet. That's a good one too. That's funny. Let's see if there's anything else in the... So my friend that shared this post, she's very much a book nerd. And she had a big list to start the post off. So let me share hers with you. Here's her first one. Okay, we all know Huckleberry Finn, right? Well, how about Huckleberry Fig? Oops, did I copy that? And then here's an example of Fall of the Sourdough Usher. Hey, that's apropos, right? So we all know the Catcher in the Rye, right? How about the Catcher in the Rye bread? She's probably read more books than I have. I can tell you that about my friend. In fact, this is my friend Becky that was, I interviewed her on the show. She and her husband are full-time RVers. They have been full-time RVers for 3 years now. So they just go from campsite to campsite with their big travel trailer and see the sights and enjoy nature. And she does a lot of reading and she does a lot of sewing and she cooks a lot. And of green peppers. And then, of course, the quintessential War and Peas. Yeah, the once and future king crab. Yes. That's a good one. That's a good one. And here's another one. I'm just sharing hers right now. That's a good one, Lux. This one of Becky's is clever. The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And then more from the Harry Potter pie. How about 50 Shades of Grey Poupon? Let's see if there's some more here I can share. Here we've got, instead of Pride and Prejudice, we've got Pride and Prosciutto. And then, okay, we all need a little Stephen King, right? So here's a Stephen King one for you. It's not just the stand. It's the taco stand. Oh, and we've got Mardi Gras coming up, right? So here's, at least this makes me think of Mardi Gras. Another Lord of the Rings one. The Return of the King Cake. That king cake, that whole concept of a king cake is really interesting to me because if I remember right, you're like lucky or it means something if you get the baby in your piece of king cake, right? Like there will be a little toy, like a baby figure toy. Okay, hey, looking at some more titles from, this is from the original post that she shared on her page. Here's another Tolkien reference. I'm a Tolkien fan. John says, The Shining Fish Steak. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, here's some more Tolkien. The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Artichokes. Oh, and here's a holiday classic here for you. You know, you've got A Christmas Carol, been around a long time. How about A Christmas Cookie? Oh, I keep going to that wrong post. Okay, I'm going to close that one. I've already used all that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here's this one. Again, some of these I know them as, hey, John, how are you? John at Pedrosa Travel. So we don't get confused on which John. The Book of Blood Sausage. Yeah, I knew you guys would be able to come up with some good ones. Anyway, some of these I think of them more as movies, but I know a lot of movies come from books. The Green Mile Salad Buffet. Let's see. Oh, we had The Hamburger Stand. Well, here's another Stephen King reference. Or, I mean, we had The Taco Stand. I just gave it away, didn't I? Now we've got The Hamburger Stand. Okay, this one's clever. Oops. And the original thread where it came from, I mean, I think that Facebook group has like 1 million people in it. Oh, look at that. I do remember when I saw it. And I'm guessing that's probably the one that Becky's in. Instead of Deep Blue Sea, we've got Deep Blue Sea Prawns. Here's another taco stand here. Oh, this is funny right here. So, you know, we had that girl with the dragon fruit tattoo. How about some Starfruit Wars? Here's a good one. I mean, they're all good, but again, it's funnier to me if it's a title that I'm familiar with. The Tacos of Wrath. Fruit Ninja Wars. Oh, I think I did that wrong. This one, here's a little cheese reference for you. Again, I think the title it's based on, I know it as a movie, right? Instead of East of Eden, we've got East of Edom. Edom cheese. And then here's some Gone with the Wings. Okay, so here, I'm going to put this one. Now, this is my favorite book of all time coming up right here. Obviously not the food one, East of LA. So we're making the titles edible, John. So here's one. So this is my favorite book, all-time favorite book, Robert Heinlein. But instead of it being a stranger in a strange land, it's a stranger in a strange candy land. Catch 22 fish. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I wanted to look at this group and see how big it is. Oh, but I don't want to leave this page. Here's I don't know that I've ever seen this movie. I do think it's probably a a book. Clockwork Orange Juice. I know Clockwork Orange. That's kind of a weird movie, right? Oh, and a little Schwarzenegger. Again, maybe they opened it up for movies as well, because I don't think that this one I don't think it was a book. I think it's just a movie. Pringle All the Way instead of Jingle All the Way. Oh, here's a little Sandra Bullock, and who else is in this movie? Hang on. Oh, maybe there are books though too. Sandra Bullock is in While You Were Sleeping, right? So how about While You Were Cooking? Willy Wonka and the Lasagna Factory, a Garfield favorite, right? Planet of the Grapes. Oh, that might be my favorite tonight. Planet of the Grapes, yeah. Oh, and then here's another twist on the Lord of the Rings. This is clever. Planet of the Grapes, yeah. How about just Lord of the Wings? Okay, I'm just looking at the ones that I think are funniest. What do you need? What do you need? Oh, and this one. Okay, here's one. I think this is based on a book, but I think of the movie when I think of this title. Let's see. West Side Cheesecake. No Natalie Wood required. Oh. And then we've got, I think this was an Academy Award winning movie, wasn't it? The Life of Pi. But it wasn't an edible pie. Oh, this is clever. The prime rib of Miss Jean Brodie. Okay, and then it wouldn't be complete if it didn't have some sort of Game of Thrones title in it, right? Game of Cloves. This one's cute right here. The Gourdfather. Oh my goodness, there are so many in this other thread. Let's look at this. I can go back to this in a second. Let's look at this page. It's called For Reading. Yes, For Reading Addicts. It has 1.5 million followers. For the intro, it says British bibliophiles brilliantly babbling about books, bookshops, bookshelves. For Reading Addicts. And it looks like they periodically do a lot of these like little quiz things, and it's a very active group. And lots of so this was interesting. 12 hours ago on the page, it looks like they do a word of the day. I guess there's it looks like a website for readingaddicts.co.uk, and today's word of the day was the word grok. So grok is from Stranger in a Strange Land, but I think now it's made its way out of the Urban Dictionary into the regular dictionary now. So I thought that was a sign that this is a cool Facebook group, that they would have a reference to my favorite book there. The Refrigerator of Dorian Gray. Ben Herb. I say Ben Herb because it's Ben Hur, but I usually pronounce Herb as Herb. Ben Herb. That's hilarious. Oh, let's go back to the let me go back to that thread. Okay. Ooh, I have to scroll down a ways because I had already gone through a lot of these. Oh, I just saw something. The princess something. Oh, yeah, there we go. A movie much beloved by many. The Princess Bride. Okay, I already did that. To go with your Planet of the Grapes, somebody put Tarzan of the Grapes. Okay, I'm loading more answers or responses here. The Handmaid's Casserole. Yeah. Okay, and then you got Oliver Twist, right? How about just Olive Twist? I'm just looking for some that maybe none of us would have thought of. Oh, I don't know why I wouldn't have thought of this. I loved this. So I don't know if you used to have Bennigan's restaurants where you were. I don't think Bennigan's is still around anywhere. It was kind of a TGI Fridays, Cheddar's, kind of restaurant bar thing. And they had a delicious item on the menu called a Monte Cristo sandwich. So here's the count of Monte Cristo sandwich. Oh, here's another Harry Potter one. Here's another Harry Potter one for you. Memoirs of a Pizza. Oh, that's funny that you're doing that one because this Harry Potter one that I just pulled from that thread is Harry Potter and the Order of the Pizza. Wow, that's the second time tonight, John, that we've been totally in sync. Oh, here's another pizza one. Again, I don't think these are books. Well, maybe it's just titles. Maybe it's not that it has to be book titles. It's just titles in general. But here's another pizza one. Tombstone Pizza. So I've never seen the movie Tombstone. It's Richard's favorite movie. Let's see. Some of them I don't get every now and then. And some of them are duplicates. Oh, and then we had The Silence of the Lamb Chops, Airplane Food. Airplane, what a classic comedy movie. And Don't Call Me Shirley. So we had The Silence of the Lamb Chops. How about The Silence of the Roasted Lambs? And it's fun too. You can look at this thread and see which people are like really into it, most active, because it just have tons of entries from them. So forget about The Last of the Mohicans. How about The Last of the Mojitos? Oh, here's another Game of Thrones reference for us. 1984 Cupcakes. Is that the same author as Clockwork Orange? James Orwell, right? Didn't Orwell write 1984? Did he also write Clockwork Orange? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Forget that sorcerer. Here's Game of Scones. Here's a little throwback. Got Lonesome Dove chocolates. Oh, this one's funny. I think it's funny. 1968, The Night of the Living Bread. Oh, this is funny here. Okay, we won't get into a debate about whether or not it's a Christmas movie. Oh, Fry Hard. Les Miserables chicken. That's funny. Oh, and here's a spin on that. I don't remember who wrote this book. But Becky had 50 Shades of Grey Poupon. Here's just 50 Shades of Gravy. Harry Potter. I mean, everybody knows Harry Potter, right? The Last of the Cheetos. So there's Harry Potter, and then there's, I guess, his distant cousin, Harry Pot Roast. Oh, wait, I think I saw John put another one up. Okay, Orwell, yeah. Animal Farm. I think that's also him. Oh my goodness, there are so many of these. I'm not going to copy all of these. And again, a lot of duplicates. That Catcher in the Rye Bread is, I've already seen that on here probably a dozen times. Oh, and then there's, here, we'll do one more from here. Lord of the Onion Rings, yep. And then The Count of Monte Cristo. So if you are a book nerd, I guess you might have fun checking out that Facebook. Let me show you what it looks like. Ooh, speaking of Facebook, so let me put this over here. And we'll share the screen just so you'll know what it looks like. So I was logging on to Facebook today to see if there were any updates on Jackie and Shadow, because, you know, there won't be a pip until it's officially announced that it's a pip. So lots of people are having what they're calling, what are they calling it? I'll have to look up what they call it. It's pretty clever. Especially, again, people that are new to watching the eagle nests, or that's probably where most of it comes from. They're new to watching the eagle nests. So every little speck of dirt or mud or leftover food that the parents have eaten or something that might be stuck to the egg somewhere, there are people, oh, why is that doing that? Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted to show you the page so that you'll know what you're looking for when you get there. 1.5 million followers, 1.4 million likes. I liked it. I'll follow it. Oh, no, let's see. I'll like it now. Anyway, so back to Facebook. Lord of the Deep Fried Flies. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Hey, Sue, welcome back. Forrest Gumbo. Yes. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Chicken Breast. Yep. I knew you guys would be into this. I knew I would have some literary gurus here. Anyway, so I was logging on this morning to see if there was an update on Jackie and Shadow. I had already logged on to YouTube and I was watching the live stream. But instead of having to run it all the way back, you know, for the last 10, 12 hours since I last watched it, the remains of the day. Oh, these are good, guys. Instead of doing that, I can just go to their Facebook page because they do a great job documenting events at the nest. They have a volunteer team all around the world. So, you know, even when it's 3:00 in the morning here, there's somebody in France or whatever that watches Jackie and Shadow, that helps update the events log and man the cameras so that when the eagles get up off of the eggs to change position or whatever, or turn the eggs, they zoom in. The camera's a pan tilt zoom camera. They'll zoom in on the eggs for us. They just have an amazing team. It is the most well-run group. That Friends of Big Bear Valley is just an amazingly well-run group. They manage the Facebook group beautifully. They manage the cameras and the equipment. They do educational things, to teach people about eagles and wildlife and conservation and pride and Fruit Loops. Anyway, so back to the story. I was logging on to Facebook to see if there was an update so that I didn't have to run the feedback and fast forward through it to see if I could see any pips. No pips yet, at least not last time I checked. And I went from like looking at one page or whatever to go to another page, and Facebook logged me out. And so a screen came on to log in. And I thought, oh, well, for all I know, it's my connection. Maybe something happened since I have this crummy internet. So I type in my username and password, and then it just puts that screen up again to log in. And I thought, what? And then I thought, I've never been, knock on wood, I've never been hacked. Like, I don't think I've ever been hacked on any social media thing. But that was my first thought was, oh my gosh, is this what happens when you get hacked? 100 years of cheesecake. Anyway, so I was concerned about that. So I did get to a place where I could change my password. I thought, well, I'm going to change my password right quick in case I've been hacked. So I changed my password, but then I couldn't log in with it. Dr. Chicago Pizza. And I just started getting really worried. And I was frustrated too, because I wanted to check on the updates for Jackie and Shadow. So I sent Richard a text at work and asked if he could log on to Facebook. I thought if he can't log on to Facebook, then I'll know there's something going on with Facebook. And while I was waiting for his response, there's a website where you can look to see if certain other websites are down. So I just typed a search thing, is Facebook down? And it took me to this page where it has a graph even. And sure enough, about the time that happened to me, that I couldn't log in, you can see the spike in all the people that have reported that there's a problem. It gives you some options on what the problem is. Your login, or the app's not working, or, whatever. Gone with the shrimp. And it was down. So then news articles started popping up. And apparently all the meta companies were down. That's kind of scary, isn't it? Isn't that kind of scary that something that big and that far-reaching and that like powerful, for lack of a better term, it could go down for some reason. So I haven't followed up on it to see if anyone knows why it went down or what happened. But, you watch enough disaster movies and post-apocalyptic movies and sci-fi movies and stuff, and it seems like that's just one step away from other things being shut down or taken down, because that's a common scenario in a lot of the doomsday type movies, post-apocalyptic stuff. Mashed potato. Do androids dream of mac and cheese? Oh, you guys are killing it tonight. But that's a common theme, is that, all communications down. You can't get money out of your bank. You can't use your debit cards or credit cards anywhere because all of the communication systems are down. So there's no POS terminals that are connected to anything. And you're, just up a creek if you don't have cash or something to barter for something that you might need. And it gets you to thinking. Maybe that's why I just don't ever go anywhere. Then I won't need to have access to a debit or credit card. Okay, let's see what else is happening here. I think I do have a picture, a puppy picture I could share that the current foster mom posted. Let me find it. These puppies are absolutely becoming beautiful. I mean, they're so beautiful and precious just because they're puppies, but where is that picture? Oh, maybe she put it in the Good Shepherd group. She must have put it in the Good Shepherd group. So hang on. I thought it was on her page. Right now, none of the puppies have names, but they all have different color collars. So when she's referring to one of them, oh, what is that? When she's referring to one of them, she'll just say, red collar girl or black collar boy or, oh, where is that picture? I just think it's so precious how she's looking at her. Okay, so maybe it's not in the alumni group. Maybe it's in the volunteers group. Yes, there it is. There it is. Let me share that with you. I just think it's precious. Share screen. Oh, and it just makes me so anxious to get these puppies here. Oops. The deviled eggs wear Prada. Titanic tacos. There she is. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that didn't make the picture bigger. Okay, that didn't work. Oh well. Let's go back to 100 then. Oh, somehow I left the picture. Isn't she beautiful? So that's one of the little girls. She's turquoise girl. Or turquoise collar girl. Anyway, so not a real exciting show today, but I hope you guys can tell how excited I am about my sourdough journey that's beginning. So again, right now I have sourdough rising in the kitchen. I'm going to bake a loaf tonight, and then when I return the Dutch oven to my neighbor across the street, it's going to have a loaf of bread in it. So cross your fingers that loaf turns out as good as the loaf I made this morning. And I can totally see never having to buy sandwich bread at the grocery store again. There's all kinds of sourdough recipes. And I think it would be possible once I really get the routine down and the timing, because I'm home every day, I could bake a loaf of bread every day. So the way I've done it now the last couple times, I get my starter ready overnight. I leave it out so that it can grow and become active overnight. And then in the morning, I'm start the process of mixing the dough and working the dough. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Best Cheeseburger. 42. And then, I'm doing it different tonight though. So again, once I figure out what works best for me. So yesterday, I did all the work during the day. In fact, yesterday in the morning, I got the starter ready. I let it sit out because it has to sit for 4 hours or so to activate and grow in volume enough to be good for the bread. And then I got the dough mixed and I got the dough worked. I let it rise, and then I shaped it into the loaf, and then I think I told y'all this. I put the loaf in the refrigerator, and then I just took it out of the refrigerator and put it in the oven early this morning. So tonight, though, like right after I did that, since that bread was done, before 9 o'clock, I went ahead and got some starter going. It sat out, and then I got my dough made. So now the dough is rising. And the dough will probably only need like another 30, 45 minutes, maybe. Bring home the dough. Yeah, I can bring home the dough. I can even probably send you some dough. Hey, Paul, how are you? So I should be able to bake a loaf before I go to bed tonight. And then I want to decide what kind of design. I think I'm going to have all kinds of fun putting designs on it. So I think for the neighbors across the street, I'll just do something kind of like what I did on that loaf that I made for us today, just because I don't want to experiment on someone else's loaf of bread. That turned out really pretty. And so obviously that's not too hard to do. Let's see. Here's a note from Lux. I got some beefsteak tomato sauce and kohlrabi and rainbow carrots at the farmer's market, but no idea what to do with it. Huh. Well, I mean, could you not like saute or cook the kohlrabi and carrots and even the tomatoes and use it like as a topping or a garnish over? I don't know if it would go with chicken. It might go with chicken. You know, that chicken I just made on Saturday, that had carrots and zucchini with it. Which Richard didn't eat the carrots and zucchini. I think he said he had some carrots, but there was still virtually all, besides what I ate that night, of the carrots and zucchini. So the next day, he took the rest of the chicken to work for lunch. And then for my lunch that day, I just ate the carrots and zucchini. They were delicious. It's going very well, Paul. How's it going for you? Something wicked with this chili comes. That's a title all of us have lived a time or two, right? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So, I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I don't have a whole lot to share with you. It's all about bread right now. Paul had cereal for dinner, but for breakfast, I'll have ham and mashed potatoes. Oh, nice. Nice. I go through little spells where I just want cereal all the time. I don't know what that's about because I am not a cereal eater. I like oatmeal, but I really do go through little spells where I'm almost craving cereal. And I wonder, like, is it milk? Do I need calcium and I'm craving cereal because I put milk on the cereal? Because when I'm having the cravings, then I'll eat any kind of cereal. Like Richard likes Fruit Loops and stuff like that. If I eat cereal, I like Honey Bunches of Oats or, like that Special K with the dehydrated strawberries in it. I like that kind of stuff. But when I'm craving cereal, I'll just eat whatever cereal's here. Fruit Loops, Cocoa Puffs, whatever. I just eat it. Yeah, I think cereal is a great dessert. Oh, I'm going to try one more time to get logged into the little Gosling cam out there. I might put a live stream up tonight if it'll connect, because it's so much easier to see with the night vision. I don't know how I could get a clearer image during the daytime when the night vision is off. And I tried to darken as much of that nesting crate as possible. It's still just in relay mode. Oh, and now it says it can't even connect. I don't know what that's about. That's just silly. Maybe I'm using up too much bandwidth or whatever that term is by broadcasting the stream. Could that be it? I think I hear Richard getting home. He had some kind of a work dinner thing tonight, so he wasn't real happy when he got home from work and had to turn right around and go to a work thing. But I think they got to go to the cam is Wi-Fi only. Oh, I didn't even catch that, Lux. I didn't even catch it that you had desert there. I deciphered what you put on there. Paul had 4 boxes of cereal and a serial killer got him. Okay, so the cam only uses Wi-Fi. The day the sourdough stood still. Okay, that's funny. So that's my all-time favorite movie, the original 1951 The Day the Earth Stood Still, my all-time favorite movie. Followed very closely, like right on its heels, is Star Wars Episode 4. So the first Star Wars that came out, but Episode 4 in the string of stories. So is that, it's because well, I have a Wi-Fi extender out there, and ordinarily I'm able to get on the highest speed or highest resolution or whatever. So I don't know why sometimes it's just not work, and it just doesn't work. Oh, let's see. I was going to try to get logged on. I just would like for us to take a peek at her again, and maybe she'll demonstrate what I've been seeing her do so much today when she's just hovering over the eggs. She's not settled down on them. I mean, it was like 77 degrees today. So, definitely kind of warm, but not so warm that the eggs didn't still need her warmth. So it's very common for her, and the eagles do this same thing, that as it gets really close to hatch time, they change positions a lot. And you'll see them. You can tell they're listening. They're watching and listening to something happening with the eggs. And this camera's still trying to connect, but no luck yet. Yeah, I love watching the night vision. It just seems so much clearer. My screen keeps jumping back and forth. It just won't load. Okay, so I'm going to give up on that. That's just not going to work. But I might put up an overnight stream. So when I'm not doing this stream and using up the bandwidth to broadcast, I might put that up too. Because that way too, if I've got that on the computer, it's so much easier to see than on my phone because it's bigger. And I know when I've had nest cams set up before, when we had goslings and ducklings coming, once there's a pip and the animal will get off of the nest long enough for me to see the eggs on the camera, I'll see the pips. And then you can hear the babies peeping as they're, busting out of the shells. The Worcestershire sauce of the world. I don't even know if I said that right. How do you guys say that word? Worcestershire sauce of the world. That's funny. Anyway, so watch. I may just throw up a little overnight stream since it's looking like we're getting really close. And hopefully I'll have more oomph in my internet to broadcast from the pen tonight. She's definitely got a different mood going on, so something's happening. And again, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you would like a gosling of your very own, I can hook you up. But that's all for tonight. Thank you guys for playing the edible titles game with me. Thank you for the ones you came up with. Those were hilarious. I'll have my favorites. I'll be anxious for this the chat to populate. A lot of times, even though you can watch the stream after it ends, you can't see the chat till like the next day. So if we can't see the chat till the next day, I'm going to be going back to look at it so that I can laugh about some of these again. I hope I didn't miss any. So I hope nobody posted one that I missed and didn't put on the screen. And I'll see you Saturday. I might do another. I think that could be kind of the fun theme since I'm doing this home meal kit thing. So I don't know which one. That was delivered yesterday. And I have 3 of those a week, 3 meals that come in a week. And I don't even remember what is in this one. It just went right into the fridge as soon as it got here. But I might just do that again. We'll work our way through some of these meal kit things together, because that was kind of fun. And then it didn't put any pressure on me to try to think of which of my own recipes I want to share. So do plan to see me on Saturday evening at 7. I just don't know what we're going to be cooking together. See you Saturday. Anyway, I'll leave the chat open for a little bit so you guys can say your farewells. And I'll get a stream put together right quick. And I say that if I can't get these cameras to cooperate, then that's why you won't see an overnight stream. But I love the night vision. It's so much easier to see. And just based on the few eggs that I candled this morning, I definitely think we might even already have a couple of internally pipped goslings. And internal pips just means that the membrane that encases, the yolk and the white of the egg that the developing animal grows in, once they are fully formed, they snip a little hole in that membrane, and it allows them to put their beaks up into the air cell. There's an air cell at the very top of the egg as soon as it's laid. And as things develop, that air cell gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's one way you can kind of tell how far along in development things are, is where the level of that air cell is on the egg. It starts out real small, and then it gets a little bigger and goes down farther in the egg. And so I've been lucky enough at times to go out and candle, and you can see the little baby's beak up inside the air cell. The rest of him is still down inside the membrane, but he's breathing and peeping, vocalizing inside that air cell. So I think it's very possible that one or more of them have already internally pipped, and that's what she's feeling and hearing. And that's why she's acting different. She knows it's coming soon, and she doesn't want me really messing with the eggs like she's let me mess with them before today. So Jackie and Shadow and my girl Monet looks like they might be on about the same schedule for getting some baby birds here. But if you don't see the stream tonight, you'll know it's because I was still having problems with this connection issue with the camera. But I love you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll let you know how the loaf of bread turns out that I'm going to bake a little bit later. And the video of what not to do. So the video of the bread loaf that didn't work out is going to be on the channel tomorrow. So be watching for that tomorrow. And I'll see you guys Saturday. Again, I love you. Thank you. Be safe, be happy, be well, and be blessed. And I'll see you on the next live stream. Bye, guys.